Hey YouTube, Brad Browning here. I'm a relationship coach from Canada, and in this video, I'm going to share with you some subtle signs that indicate your marriage is falling apart. See, the thing is, when problems start to creep into a marriage, they're not always obvious. And although most people think of screaming matches or divorce threats, there's actually a lot of way more subtle signs that you want to be wary of. Now, before I go ahead and share with you the top 8 things to look for, I'd like to take a quick second to tell you about the helpful online quiz I've created that's going to help you to know your chances of saving the marriage. And it's also going to give you some advice, custom tailored advice on what you should do next. If you want to take that quiz, find out if your marriage has a chance and if you should fix it, it's marriageguy.com/quiz. It's completely free, it takes 5 minutes. Okay, let's get started. Number 1, when your focus has shifted from us to I. See, when you and your spouse first got together, you were probably in the us mindset, right? You made plans together, you worked around one another's schedules. And while it's normal for the honeymoon stage to end in any marriage and for spouses to sort of slip into their own personal routines, if the collective mindset has switched from us to I, then that's a sure sign that the marriage has some underlying issues. And number 2, when your spouse is no longer your go-to person. There was likely a time when your spouse was the person that you went to for everything, right? I mean, whether it was someone to vent to, someone to share your daily stories with, he or she, your spouse, was that person for you. If either of you have started to turn to others for that role, then it could be because your communication is lacking. Remember, I mean, it takes openness and honesty for your marriage to be healthy and to go the distance. So if this isn't happening, then that's a very glaring sign that there could be trouble in the relationship. Number 3, you're comparing your spouse to others. If you find yourself, comparing your spouse to other people of the opposite sex or wishing they were more like somebody else, then it's a sure sign that you're not totally happy in your marriage. And even if it's hypothetical, once these kinds of thoughts are creeping into the marriage, it's time to start to take a step back and to look for whatever issues are actually causing you to feel that way. And number 4, when you're living separate lives. So if a husband goes out with his buddies every night after work and his wife spends her weekends hanging out with her girlfriends, that kind of thing, and if you and your spouse are living 2 completely separate lives, that's a sure sign that your marriage really isn't in a healthy place. And I mean, don't get me wrong, it is really important that you and your spouse have your own hobbies and interests on the go, but it's also really important that your individual lives don't overtake your life as a married couple. And number 5, when you're wondering, what if? Right? Contemplating what your life would be like if you made different decisions, like if you didn't get married or if you got a divorce. If you're wondering that, if you're constantly asking yourself about what life without your spouse would be like, that's a sure sign that something's up. I mean, happily married couples, they can't imagine life without their partner, right? So this is why when that happens, it's a very obvious warning sign that something isn't quite right. And if you want to find out how deep your marital issues run and whether you've got a chance of fixing it, go to marriageguy.com/quiz and take that free online test that I told you about before. And based on your results of that quiz, you're also going to receive some feedback on what you should be doing to turn your marriage around that's tailored to your situation. And again, take the quiz at marriageguy.com/quiz. And on to number 6, when you're keeping score. Have you and your spouse been keeping tabs on who does what? Like, for instance, is one of you making more effort to spend time together or trying harder to make the other happy? Or on the other hand, maybe one of you has been noting all the things that the other person does wrong. See, when marriages become a tally of who the better spouse is, then it may be a way for that spouse to convince themselves that they shouldn't be together and shouldn't be in that marriage. I mean, after all, remember that marriage is about teamwork, not rivalry. So you don't want to be keeping score, and if you are, that's a clear sign. Number 7, and this is a big one, when you're roommates with your spouse rather than lovers. Now, it is important to be friends with your spouse, but if your relationship feels more like a friendship than a marriage, it's a sign that something's probably missing. Yes, it's great to be able to order in a pizza and watch Netflix together, but unless there's some sort of deeper bond, then it may be time to take a step back and evaluate the relationship. See, a good sign to look for here is if you and your spouse have put on an act and pretend to be a happy, loving family when you're around others. If you're faking it, that's a huge red flag that the marriage is probably in trouble. And number 8, you're not fighting or loving. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, oftentimes couples don't realize that their marriage has issues if they haven't been arguing or fighting at all. But the truth is, though, that even if you and your spouse are getting along great, if you're not loving each other, then your marriage could possibly be falling apart. And what's worse is if you're not fighting because you're bottling up your emotions. Because when this happens, resentment starts to build, and before you know it, you're just a firecracker just waiting to be lit, right? So that's why it's so important to take the time to check in with your emotions and remember, just because all appears well on the outside doesn't really mean it actually is. Well, that just about does it for this video, trying to keep it short. But as always, thanks so much for watching. If you guys have any questions about what I've covered here, please just feel free to post those in the comment section below. I always love hearing from all you guys and reading your comments. And also, of course, if you like what you learned here and you'd like to show your support for my channel, you can do so by subscribing and checking out some of my other relationship advice videos here on YouTube. All right, so that's it. Till next time, take care and all the best.